I know that this is an agency that does its best to care for the kids that we have in our care. As I have developed in this program, it not only is a program that helps deal with kids, but it also is a real family-oriented program. I see when our kids first get here how trauma has affected them. They come in and they're afraid or they're angry, and because life has taken its toll on them. And what I also see is the transformation that occurs when the kids are in care where they're loved and they're consistent with them, and they show them compassionate discipline.
It's scary, but we ensure them that it's safe. You're gonna have food every day. You're gonna have your own bed to sleep in, your own comb. Everything is provided for you. Clothing. If it's something that you don't have, we can go out and get it for you. So they like that. They like that because I try to encourage them to be happy, and it might be sad right now, but it's gonna get better. It's gonna get better, without a doubt.
We had another little boy who came in very angry, just upset at the world because of everything that had happened to him. And my staff were saying to me, why, this kid is too difficult. We can't handle this type of child in our care. He just left our program. And all our staff were in tears, hugging him. Because they didn't want him to leave. And that's when we see how we're making a difference in these kids' lives. I see the miracles happening every day, where you see these kids transforming their lives because of the connections that they're making with our staff and with each other.
We've been around for approximately 11 years, and we serve population, both boys and girls, ages 5 to 12, and we traditionally stay at about 30 children. Our focus is to work with the children and, of course, to teach them new and improved social skills, if you will, coping skills, and with the goal of moving them to a less structured environment, if you will, such as foster care or adoption. The trauma they have experienced is excessive physical abuse, sexual abuse. They've witnessed domestic violence, and they have been in and out of placements. A lot of these children blame themselves for the placement that they're in, so the clinical team has a very difficult, challenging role of working through their trauma. So when we see a child come in and, and they're upset, they're very sad, and they struggle with school, they're struggling with working with the structured program, but yet we surround it with love and compassion and respect, something that they're not used to. It's priceless. Next thing you know, their level of care is lessened and they are moving on to another placement. Hopefully it's foster care or adoption. So watching a child be reunited with his or her family, that's absolutely priceless. And we had that just this morning. And when you see the child literally running down the hall, arms wide open, smiling, just beaming, and the parents are doing the same, and they just fall into each other's arms and they start crying, that's it. That's just it. That's where it starts and ends for me.
Yeah, we get trained by the Children's Shelter to take, from moderate, kids that don't have that many problems to some with more severe problems, psychological, behavioral, or mental problems. My name is Richard De Jesus. I am a foster parent here at San Antonio Children's Shelter. I think my wife and me went kind of have taken some of the more difficult cases at times, and a lot other families too, but we had some difficult cases, and we couldn't do it without the children's shelter. All the training they gave us how to cope with these different type of behaviors and how to help them. I mean, we are just simple parents. We're not professionals, but we are given the tools on how to, work with these children. We understand they got a lot of, issues, emotional behavior and all of that. But what really gets to you is that biologically you have nothing to do with these children, but they wake up in the morning and say, "Good morning, Dad." "Good morning, Mom." That's very powerful for a kid that comes from that type of abuse to be able to express himself and say, "Mom and Dad," that's very big. That means that you're getting their trust. The normalcy in the life has really come to fruition. It's so important that we have a misconception in San Antonio or in Bexar County or in the fostering community that these children probably are not fixable, that these children probably are lost already for life, and that is not true. I have the proof in my house, having the privileges to have over 60 kids in about 7 years of doing fostering care. For example, I had twins that came home with severe, they suffer hemorrhages in their brains, those twins, because of the abuse they endured by the perpetrator, right? And, they came home, they were just laying down, they wouldn't even move, they barely blinked. I mean, when they left 18 months later, they are, learning, they are giggling, they are laughing, they feeding correctly, they are in good weight and good health. We had other situations of kids coming to our home, you're talking about they call you up, "I got some kids, we barely know anything about them, real severe behavioral problems, some of them even suicidal, but all this is fixable." I really encourage the people of San Antonio to come forth and inquire about fostering or adopting. We have a large community, and this community is a good community. It's people with good hearts. But I think they need to be aware what is the problem in Bexar County. And the problem is that we have kids that need to be fostered. This is our community, this is our county, and we can make the difference.